Hey everyone and welcome back! Level 2 is officially built and today we're tackling moving platforms, dynamic weather and some Unreal Engine workflow tricks that save me hours of time. But first I have to say it warms my heart to see so many of you enjoying the first video of this reboot. Seeing people return from my original devlogs means a lot and your comments are already helping shape the path forward. Lots to talk about, so let's get started! The focus for level 2 lies on moving platforms. Since it's still early in the game, they are big and fairly easy to land on. The pathways have fewer rails this time, but they are still fairly wide. And near the end I added the timer button, which I will break down a little later. While designing this, I was looking at your suggestions for what to do with these yellow gems. Some of you suggested collecting a bunch for an extra life. But to be honest, I view extra lives as a bit of an outdated concept. A remnant from arcade machines, where you had to pay for each attempt. Game overing just to be thrown back to redo things you've already mastered isn't exactly fun, I think. Another suggestion was to use them as currency for skins, or to unlock shortcuts on an overworld map like in Super Mario World. I really like the overworld idea. I've been debating between a menu-based selection like Super Monkey Ball or something more open like Banjo-Kazooie. I actually started building a basic Mario World style map back in 2022, so it might be worth reviving. But that strongly smells of feature creep. Because if we travel through a world, what are we traveling towards? Is there a big boss? Traveling just to reach another standard level feels a bit anticlimactic. For now we are keeping the scope tight. The first major milestone is a minimum viable product. Build all the levels and make them selectable in whatever way. The extra fluff will be the cherry on top we can consider later. Now, let's have a look at how I actually built level 2. Again, I started with a simple blockout using Unreal's modeling tools. Then I exported those meshes as an FBX, imported them into Blender and applied the scale. Dropped my geometry nodes modifier onto the meshes, which instantly takes care of the bulk of the level styling. It needs a little cleanup here and there, but it's infinitely faster than doing it all by hand. Here's a massive tip if you're using this workflow. Watch your pivot points. When exporting from Unreal, every mesh keeps its own pivot point. But when you re-import from Blender, Unreal forces the pivot point to the center of the world, like 000, just offsetting your mesh data. The easiest fix for me was dragging all the level pieces back into Unreal at once, aligning them with my original blockout, and then deleting the blockout entirely. But when you model individual objects like these moving platforms, make sure to keep your pivot at 000 in Blender, so you don't get weird offsets in Unreal. But I want to mention there are alternatives to my Blender workflow if you want to stay strictly in engine. First, there's Alter Mesh. I used this in my 3D Mario remake, but it currently only supports up to Unreal 5.4. Another option is Houdini by SideFX. It's incredibly powerful, has an Unreal plugin and offers a free non-commercial version. But the learning curve is extremely steep. And then there is Unreal's PCG, Procedural Content Generation. This is production ready in Unreal Engine 5.7 and definitely worth a look. But since I already know Blender's geometry nodes, I stuck with what I know for this one. Speaking of engine versions and plugins breaking, Unreal Engine 5.8 is about to drop. It promises some massive performance improvements that look incredibly tempting for my little indie game. Extra performance from the base engine is always welcome. But honestly, upgrading an engine mid-project is a notorious trap. It's a massive risk for breaking plugin compatibility and can derail progress for weeks. I am still debating whether the performance boost is actually worth the headache or if I should just stay the course. Let me know in the comments if you think risking the upgrade is worth it. But for now, sticking to 5.7 means I can safely use my favorite level design tool, the Actor Palette plugin. You can create a master level containing all your props, load it into a separate window and just drag and drop the assets right into your active world. I highly recommend it. One comment from the last video mentioned that the new art style felt like a visual downgrade from the original game. That got me thinking about how to bring back some atmosphere. So I dug into my sky and weather package and found out that it offers rain and thunderstorm systems. And the lightning bolts can actually hit the player and push you away. Well, that's really awesome, but definitely too punishing for a second level. It reminded me of Donkey Kong Country 3, where lightning is a late game challenge. So I think I'll be saving the hazard aspect for later. Instead, I placed a trigger in level 2 that smoothly shifts the weather from clear to rainy on contact. It brings back a little of that missing flair and ensures that level 2 feels distinct from level 1. And finally, let's peek behind the scenes at the timer button. The button uses a blueprint interface called Stompable. The player ball sends a call to this interface whenever it, well, stomps on something. Once triggered, a branch determines the outcome. It can activate another actor via an interact by switch interface, but here I'm using a level sequence. And when the timer runs out, it simply plays the sequence in reverse. The UI handles the actual time in a widget blueprint. It displays the time, plays a ticking sound, and uses a set timer by event looping every 1 second to count down. Once it hits 0, it hides itself. It's a clean, modular setup that I can reuse anywhere. And that's going to do it for this update. I hope some of these workflow tricks piqued your interest. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment letting me know what features or hazards you'd like to see next. I'll hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye bye!